So this is my second photo for the portrait critique, and I believe we can start off by everything that we can appreciate in this photo, which is a lot. So first off the bat, I believe the use of color in this photo is very effective. The red in the background pops right out of the picture immediately, and I think it's being used very well to contrast against the young woman that we see and also the little bit of white on the right. The contrast is very nice, it's very clear. And then also there's a little bit of contrast in between the colors of the blue Kentucky shape on the shirt and the red almost Barnside. I believe the red is very vibrant and it's very intense, and it's being used effectively in this photo. Um, the second the second part I would say is the texture on the actual wooden door or barn side wherever we are. It gives us a sense of reality that this is a wooden structure and that it's not a perfectly clean slated background. It's more of a realistic, something you would actually find in real life, which I can really appreciate. I think that it's giving it more of a rustic feel, more of a really Kentucky feel, which I think is what the artist was going for here. So if that's the case, I definitely believe that that was achieved in this photo. From the background, we get more of a realistic Kentucky vibe from it. Um, Another effectively used composition element is lighting. We can see that the lighting is coming from the right hand side, as the left hand side of the girl's face is a little bit in shadow. But I think the lighting is being used well. I think that it's illuminating the girl's face enough so that we can appreciate her features and her bright smile. And it's not too blinding or taking away anything at all. I think this photo is about the young woman, and I also think because of the Kentucky state shape on the shirt and also the KY on the shirt, I believe that it's really about Kentucky pride. And like I was mentioning before, the texture of the red barn side or door is contributing to the effectiveness of this message. I think that by wearing the shirt, it honestly almost looks like a Kentucky store magazine. It looks like we're really trying to get across the message that we're proud to be from Kentucky and all that that includes, including the realistic rustic side of Kentucky. So some things that I would change. Um, I really appreciate the contrast between the red paint on the wood and what appears to be white brick immediately next to it. And what I would do to change this photo is I would try to include a little bit more of the white. I would want to see a little bit more of the contrast. Maybe want to see just what that white is. Is it brick? Is it different paneling? Is it wood? What are we looking at? Just to get a little better sense of our surroundings, I would include more of the white to get a more stark contrast. Um, and then I would also try and maybe play with effects afterwards, because unfortunately it seems that the very bright colors on the building with the red door and the white brick, it's almost washing out the color of the girl's skin. She seems to be very pale in contrast to these. So I would maybe play with the lighting, to see if more or less light would make her skin look more less pale. Or I would play with effects after, like different filters that I could possibly put on that would make her skin not look so pale or washed out in contrast. Um, some things need that might could use some work. I would just say maybe the focus, because I think the focus is more on the background of the red barn side instead of on the girl's face. So maybe I would try making it more even so that we can get really good detail on the girl's face. Like, does she have freckles? Anything like that. And then also I would mess with the lighting to try and make the Kentucky on the shirt pop. I'm not sure if it's the design of the shirt or the lighting or the color or anything, but the blue of the Kentucky almost fades into the gray. And if the message that we're trying to achieve is Kentucky Pride or something about Kentucky, I would try and make that pop as much as the red background is. So that would be one thing that I could say would use work. But otherwise, I really appreciate all the features and the elements that are being used in this photo. I think it's a great portrait.